Welcome to the Caterpillar Mining Webinar Series. I'm Tony Johnson and I'll be your host. We're coming to you live from the Caterpillar Media Center here in Peoria, Illinois. We've completed our safety briefing and check here, and we would ask that you would do that in your location. We're very pleased. We've been watching some of the registrations that's been coming in. We've got US and Canada with us today. I see Mexico, Costa Rica, Russia, Australia. So we welcome all of our customers and miners, we welcome our CAT dealers, and we welcome our fellow CAT employees to our webinar today. Today, it's all about drills. What are some of the benefits? How can you improve your bottom line with our drills? I got some great guys here with me on our panel today. I'd like for you to meet them.
Hi Tony, it's my pleasure to be here. My name is Paul Dietz. I'm the Chief Engineer in the Drills Product Group. I've worked with Caterpillar for 28 years in the area of product development, different areas of electronics, hydraulics, different products, and most of the time in excavators. Now I'm in Denison and have been there for quite some time, and we are very busy developing our product, lifting it up, and getting it integrated with Caterpillar standards.
Yeah, you're a diehard CAT product guy, and we'll talk more about Denison moving on. Kent?
Kent Clifton, thanks for having me today. Senior application specialist for CAT Global Mining based in Peoria now. About 27 years with Caterpillar after 11 years with a couple of CAT dealers. So spend most of my time just working with our customers on proper machine matching and getting the right size machines, right size trucks, right size diggers, and then just really reducing that cost per ton. And obviously, you know, drills are a big piece of that today.
Yeah, Kent, I've known Kent for a long time. He spends a lot of time. I imagine he's pretty familiar to some of you out there, but Kent's one of those rare guys that can actually get on the machine and make it go about any. In fact, you see a lot of job studies that are done, particularly in loading tools. Kent's involved with those, so good to have you here.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And we have a guest from Canada. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Claude Aboujaude. I've been in the technology space for quite some time. I started my career in a technology startup focused on designing solutions for the mining industry. That startup was later acquired by Caterpillar 15 years ago, and I've been with CAT since that time. Most of the programs that I have worked on vary from simple technology programs such as instrumentation all the way up to technology and autonomy. I'll be very happy to discuss this subject today.
But it seems like you talked 15 years. It seems like just the other day I remember, yeah, there's this technology guy in Montreal. That's now you, right?
That's correct.
You've been with it through all of that. So we'll spend a lot of time with Claude and a lot of experience that hopefully you can share with you today. So gentlemen, thanks for being here today. We are talking drills, and in particular, Paul's going to give us insights into our latest drill, the MD6250. So look forward to that. Before we get into our program, several logistics that I want to go through with here. Let's look at your interface that you're using. We have developed a special interface here. So let me talk you through it. In the upper left-hand corner of your screen, you'll see bios of all of our speakers. You'll see a little gray bar. You can slide down or slide over. That has a bio for all four of us. If you're into LinkedIn, you can click on that. You can check out our LinkedIn profiles and communicate that way. There's also a little envelope button. That's an email. And oftentimes during these webinars, we get inquiries. You click on that. Paul, Kent, Claude, and myself, if you've got a question, just do it right now. Top that up, email will pop up, and we'll get that and respond to you. Right below that is a resources box, and that's very important. We hope you pay a lot of attention to our webinar today, but we know that you're probably watching this on your screen. So every once in a while, if you want to go scroll down there, and we'll reference several links that are in there. One important one that I would ask that you do, if you haven't subscribed or signed up for Caterpillar information to be sent to you via email, we would suggest you do that. Just scroll down till you see that sign up. That'll take you, we just need a couple of pieces of information. We'll put you into our database, and then you'll get a lot of information on new products, services, and you'll get regular updates on our webinar series. So look forward to that. Also, too, our webinar system is very well designed to take your questions. In the right side of your module, you'll see a box where you can enter questions. In the studio here, I've got Kara. She's watching those questions as she's coming in, and she's feeding those to me on a monitor in here. So if they're timely, we weave them into our conversation. And we also are going to schedule time at the end for your questions. Now, we won't get to all those questions, but if you kind of give us a general direction, one of our experts, once they get back onto their email, we'll help follow up with that. We are hoping to be about less than 60 minutes, hopefully 45 minutes, so we hope that you can stay with us during that whole time. If you can't, don't feel bad. This webinar is recorded. you will get an email with a link to a recording of this video shortly after the completion. Feel free to share that link with anybody that you would like. Also, too, this webinar recording of it will be located on our main webinar page, which is cat.com/miningwebinars. Again, you can see a link to that in your resources section. Would ask that you make that familiar. Those of you, if you like this webinar, we have recordings of our past ones there and also our upcoming ones. We stay about a month ahead, and we'll talk more about our April webinar when it comes. So look forward to talking with you in the future and being part of that. Again, like for you to remember to sign up and subscribe to our communications. Okay, guys, let's get started. I look at the group here, and I'm probably the least experienced drill guy, and having 30 years at Caterpillar, that's something to say. But I feel like I really know drills because I've been in mining most of my career, and I've been at a lot of mine sites all around the world, and I always see drills. I think when I go to a mine site, there's two things that I'm always captivated by. Push-pull scrapers, which are a rarity, but when you see them, you just got to stop and look at them. And secondly, the drill. If you're driving by and you see it, and those of you that are miners, a drill is something you see every day, but on our side of the business, we don't get to see application of drills except when we go to the site. So it's always cool to see the drill, and if you're there for a blast, it's something special. And I think you always have the realization that that's the start, and we're going to talk about that, that really you look at your value chain. Kent's going to talk about that the drills are the start of your operation, and they play a critical role in doing that. I think, there's kind of this, are drills new to Cat? Well, yeah, the branding and the Cat logo and the yellow on a drill, but honestly, the drills that we have today come from a long line. In fact, Reed Drill, I remember when I was in the field, a lot of dealers sold that. Paul, you're intimately experienced with that. Give us kind of some of the history over the last decade or so on the transition of what went to Reed, to Terrax, to Bucyrus, and now to Caterpillar.
Yeah, Tony, it's a big debate in the world, and I'm sure people online watching this have the answer to this question, but not many people know how many times this product line has been bought and sold, ending with Caterpillar. And we're really pleased to have this product line and the team. Starting out, I was really impressed with how the two teams came together, how Caterpillar and the team in Denison and the regions all came together, where Caterpillar's teaching the regions and the Reed Drill and the Bucyrus people how Caterpillar does things, and the Bucyrus people were telling Caterpillar about drills and our customers, and it worked out very well. And over time, we figured out how to execute CAT processes to support our drills in the field and sustain them, and how to improve those products. So really like the way the drill experts have adopted us and how we've adopted them, and it's a great team.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Dennis and the factory that you mentioned there. I think that I was down there early on, right after it became the Caterpillar drills. And man, it seemed like that the product was switched over. In fact, it was one of the first factories that really came on with the CAT production system.
And we invested millions of dollars just in factory capital to improve the quality and the safety of our drills. Yeah,
you had a huge parts resource storage facility there. You were building stall build, now you're line build. So it's significant changes there in a very short amount of time. So now with that, there came some legacy support, right? There's still a field population of drills out there that need to be supported, and we haven't walked away from that.
No, absolutely not. You know, customer relationships are number one for us, and if we have a customer, we want to support the customer. And like you said, there's legacy drills out there running today, and we understand that we have to improve those drills, and we wanted to improve them as quickly as possible. And so we instituted a lot of Caterpillar processes. You know, what are the quality issues, and we prioritized those quality issues and started working on them. You know, how does a dealer get his question answered quickly? How does a customer get his question answered quickly? How do we get in more Caterpillar components quickly for new sales? We now have Cat engines in there, Cat undercarriage, and many drills Caterpillar hose, trying to get as much Caterpillar componentry as we can onto our drills. So we did a really good job responding quickly to our ex-factory product for sales and also supporting the customers that have drills. The other thing that people don't think about is the aftermarket business.
Right.
And so we spent 4 years in an incredible effort and team transforming our aftermarket parts business into the Caterpillar parts system. And we talked about how many times Denison has been acquired. Well, each time there was an acquirer, we added more variation to our part numbers, and I think that has frustrated a lot of our customers. By converting our parts, we've gotten rid of that, and we have now one CAT part number for the part you want to order. So I think our customers and dealers will really like that. We went beyond that and we said, let's break down the serviceable levels for a part to provide lower cost solutions to repair a machine. So you'll see that coming. And then you also see the Caterpillar part performance, like when you order a part, how long does it take before you get that? You're going to see drills converging in and what's expected for Caterpillar.
Yeah,
so it's been just a full lift in terms of getting ready our current customers.
Yeah, not just for drills, but you look at rope shovels and hydraulic mining shovels, that whole thing. It's been a pretty long journey, but drills has really been on the forefront of that. I would remind you, if you have questions, you can submit those anytime online, and we'll answer those as they come up. So, okay, enough about history. Let's talk about today. Tell us about what's going on in the drills today. We recently came from Mine Expo. It seems like just yesterday, it was a few months ago, and hopefully a lot of you were out there for that. The drill, we had the 6420 there. A lot of excitement around that.
Yeah, that was very impressive to have our 6420C there. Lots of fanfare, lots of good feedback. The workmanship on that drill was outstanding.
Right.
If you saw that drill, you saw quality. You saw a CAT engine, CAT undercarriage. You saw a lot of Caterpillar hydraulic hose. As you got in the cab, you saw a nice control system, good ergonomics for the operator, and very good visibility. You also saw technology on there. We had electro-hydraulic system with onboard automation, onboard auto drill, auto level, auto mast, all in controlled from the cab. And then you saw autonomy. That drill was equipped for autonomy.
Which is the first time we really talked openly
that's
about
absolutely,
it.
yeah. And it's just a great accomplishment for our team and the customers. Even today we're getting phone calls about that drill and more inquiries and follow-up. So it was a real hit.
Yeah, I know you probably didn't know, but I was doing TV interviews, a local Las Vegas station, and they came on the exhibit and they wanted to do 6:30 a.m. We're not prime time, but we got that 6:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And they actually chose the drill to do the remote from. So I was interviewing, and all of a sudden they had one of those super energetic guys. He's crawling all over the drill. And all of a sudden he went behind the drill and he lost his microphone. So we did get the truth.
That tells you how big the equipment is.
How big it was. I don't think he realized he didn't have time to get around to it. But so, hey, some exciting stuff. So you've come back from Mine Expo. But your NPI teams, your new product introduction teams have been working hard, and I guess we're here to officially announce a new drill today, the MD 6250. MD 6250. First off, is there any meaning to the 6250?
Yeah, 250. 6 means rotary drill, and the 250 is the maximum hole diameter in millimeters.
Okay, so there's some logic to that.
Yeah, there's actually something to it. Don't add the numbers up to get a sum. It's 6250. The 6250 is what we're working very hard on right now, designing it, getting it ready. We're going to start assembling it later this year. The order boards are open for the 6250 for deliveries next year. There's been a lot of interest in that drill. The 6250 will replace the 6290, today's 6290, and today's 6240.
Right.
And it will compete very well against our competitors. This drill is, we're going to be very proud of this drill. Full effort. We have drill experts involved with the design engineers and the commercial people, factory, supply chain, all getting together to say, how do we design and build the best drill?
So it's officially the first true centerline Caterpillar
You betcha.
drill.
From the inside out, all Caterpillar Caterpillar componentry, Caterpillar bolts, Caterpillar fittings, Caterpillar hydraulics, electronics, and the cab. When you get in our cab, it's very easy to get in our cab, very wide walkways, nice angles, very ergonomic. You sit down, the controls are on the armrests. We've got monitors on the armrest. You can rotate the seat 360 degrees. You can see there's glass everywhere. You can see everything, and everything's at your fingertips. The whole drill is at your command with these joysticks. So we spend a lot of time on the customer. We have CAT electronics, we have CAT ET. If something goes wrong and you say, hey, what is it?
Right.
ET will tell you what went wrong. We have the Caterpillar hydraulics, where the filtration and the cleanliness standards that you see today on a track tap tractor or wheel loader, you'll see that on the drill. Engine, it's a Cat C27. We have Tier 4, we have LRC. It can handle altitude.
What's LRC?
Less regulated countries. So what I would say is not Europe, not America, and not Japan.
Okay.
Is LRC.
So we have two different engine configurations.
That's right, that's right. And it's good for altitude. And then fuel economy was a big deal for us. You know, how do we improve fuel economy? We've lowered the idle speed. We've lowered the rated speed. The engine doesn't spin as fast to provide the required power. That saves fuel. We have other systems in there to save fuel with the compressor. I think the customer is going to love this. When the operator executes a command, we have auto drill. Auto drills on there. It'll be conducted by Caterpillar Electronics, a very rugged system. Auto level, auto mast, and then it will be linked to product link. So if you want to monitor your health, it's there. And then as a attachment, added bonus, the finale is Autonomy.
Right.
You can order Autonomy on this drill. It very naturally layers onto our drill because it was designed for that.
Right.
And so you're going to see a lower cost entry for our Autonomy. You're going to see better reliability, better accuracy in the way it was designed.
Yeah, we're going to spend a lot of time with Claude and talking about Autonomy here
Yeah.
pretty soon. I would, again, go to your resources section. You'll see a link there that goes to the MD6250. There's a lot of information. So either now as you listen to us or if you want to go to later, you can go there and get a lot more details about that. We could spend the whole day talking about that machine.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll come back to some of the kind of the cost per ton benefits here in a minute. So we've talked a lot of the product. Let's talk about applications. I mean, we're really talking about how can you manage your cost and really the importance of drilling. You spent a lot of time there. The drill, we talked about it being from the start, but it plays a very important role in the value chain, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think as we look at it, I think, for you and I, 10 years ago we were traveling together and we'd go to a customer site, and really what we started looking at was from the loading tool on
Right.
through. We never really started at the drill because
Right.
we didn't have a drill in the
They
game.
always made us get out when they were ready to blast. So,
Absolutely.
did what
That's the
was
only
supposed
thing
to.
we really knew back then.
Yeah.
Now we get out earlier.
That's right.
But so today, it all starts with the drill, and we spend a lot of time working with our customers to make sure that they have the right loading tool with the right size bodies on the truck, so that we're really pushing towards that lowest cost per ton. But today, when we look at this drill, we really need to work with them today to make sure that when we put this drill in, that we really get the best drill to do the job, and fragmentation's key. When you look at the percentage of cost that goes into this, 40% of our costs are tied to drilling and blasting in our mining operation today. Unfortunately, I don't think we probably put that much emphasis on it up front. The other thing that's really unfortunate is if you miss it the first time, there's really no going back and re-blasting it. So you've shot it. So the things that we have to be thinking about up front is, what are we shooting for? Are we shooting for a rope shovel? Are we shooting for a wheel loader? It's going to make a difference. Are we shooting for tractors that are going to be doing big production pushes like a cast blast? Or are we working in things like gold that you really have to be careful how much you shift this material, because you could be doing some dilution of your product. So then we get the blasting correct, and that's going to work all the way down the stream through good bucket fills, ideal pass match. It's going to allow us to put the material in the crusher so that we're not going to have to handle or rehandle all this material. So now we really touch this stuff from the very first thing with the drill all the way through the truck putting it into the crusher.
Right.
So it's really critical. And again, 40% of that. So we need to really be looking, anything we can do to go in and help improve this operation to reduce 2 or 3% at the end of the year. That's a lot of money.
Right. Well, you talk about that impacting your cost per ton a lot. So let's look at like the MD6250 from a cost per ton standpoint. So you get the drilling right. We'll talk a little bit about the accuracy and the precision of it, but the machine itself combined with the application, what type of things are we going to see on the 6250?
Well, when I was listening to Kent, he talked about the criticality of hole depth, and if you don't get the hole depth right, you've got to go back and clean that up, and it takes more time and effort. We can drill to a specified depth, and it won't go any farther, and it won't go any shallower than the specified depth that you set, because we have an onboard electrical system there to do that. And no longer will you be guessing if you're at the right level, at the right depth. You will know exactly where you're at. You'll see it on your monitor. It'll tell you to stop. and you won't be making those mistakes anymore. So.
And I think if we come back and we look at that piece of drilling, obviously the loading tools are waiting on the drill. So that drill has got to be extremely efficient, and we need him working. He's got to be working that 80–85% efficiency, so we have excellent reliability out of the new product. He's got to stay out there drilling. So what we have on the drill from the factory, the auto level and all these things that are assisting that operator, he's moving from hole to hole quicker. Now, as he said, there's that next step with the technology, but again, how do we keep that drill out there drilling and get him from hole to hole quicker, get the pattern done quicker, and be moving on so that our loading tools that are coming up behind them can work right up behind them and we keep everything really moving along. You look at some of the options, we can put an optional fuel tank on this drill, which is going to allow us to drill out to 26 hours, from 12 to 26 hours. That's big. You know, do you ever see a fuel stop take any less than 15–20 minutes?
Right.
You know, and that happens a couple times a day. That's starting to cut into that utilization that we can really make some quick gains on. What are we moving on? What kind of environment are we working in? We have all the pad options available today to help that machine maneuver around better. So those things, as we're equipping the machine, is just as important as getting the right bucket or the right body on that truck today. So again, those things are going to help us drive down that cost.
Well, it's an intricate system, and I think as you've seen the evolution, and especially today, technology comes in as far as, especially with drills, accuracy and precision is the key. And Claude, you've been involved with the technology as it relates to drills for a long time, and we've grown to where we are today, and you know where we're going to be going. Give us a little background of kind of how that's evolved and why.
Yes, it was interesting to hear Kent and Paul, actually, excuse me, Paul, mention all this technology progress on the machines. Not long ago, these machines were still hydraulically controlled via pilots, and now the whole new machines are all based on control systems, controlling everything on the machine. That opens up a whole suite of opportunities in terms of technologies on the machine. We have to remember that technology was driven by business needs, actually. And the business need from a mining perspective was to improve productivity, improve safety, improve processes, and improve the blastability and the fragmentation and all the benefits that we get downstream. And I've been involved in this from day one. I've seen it progress from small retrofit equipment that we put on machines, now all the way integrated into our machines out of the factory. Case in point, we have the Terrain product that has been out in the market for a while. It was designed as a retrofit attachment. It uses state-of-the-art GPS equipment to position the machine, to provide feedback to the operator so he can accurately position his machine over the desired hole. And this precision actually allows for better design of the patterns, better expansion potentially of the pattern, and better explosive loading, yielding improved fragmentation. In addition to the GPS and positioning opportunity that this provides to the operator, Terrain monitors the asset, which is how productive is the drill, how is it utilized, is it effectively producing enough meters per day, is it on a delay, is it experiencing some downtime, is it does it require a bit change, and the likes. So people in the office can monitor the asset, can create reports, can check whether it needs to be attended by tradespeople for maintenance, for instance, and whatever it needs to make sure the machine is running at its best. The next layer above that comes autonomy, and that has mentioned quite a lot today. And autonomy allows the operator to leverage the asset more effectively and use it during those times where he's not necessarily around to operate the machine. So by providing a tablet to the operator, he can set up the machine at the start of a row and engage it to go all the way and drill the entire sequence of rows until it completes that mission. And all this while the operator is outside the machine, outside the operator's cab, and he can attend to other tasks. while he's available. And if the customer has 2 or 3 drills equipped with autonomy, then the operator can launch these at the same time. So now we're driving more labor efficiencies by having one operator drive more equipment than otherwise you could have today. So all this is driving improved productivity, improved safety, improved machine utilization, reduced wear and tear, improved consumable life, and anything else that precipitates from the use of this technology.
Yeah.
So you talked about the building blocks. So just to summarize, there's things on the machines, Paul, for example, like what? What is when we talk technology, it kind of goes from on machine to off board.
Yeah.
So what is the technology on the machine? And then you mentioned terrain, and then we mentioned autonomy. So let's kind of talk through that.
Yeah, I'd like to start from the basics. The machine has to work.
Yeah.
The machine can't fail. The machine has to have Caterpillar reliability and durability. But when it does fail, it has to be easy to service. And this machine will come with a full suite of aftermarket parts similar to what we have today, and the dealers will know how to get them, and they'll be able to get them quickly. You'll be able to diagnose problems very quickly. So, you know, as we talk about autonomy, we're assuming that the machine doesn't fail, because as soon as the machine is down, it's not autonomous anymore.
All that technology goes away.
Right.
That's a very good point.
So we're spending a lot of time on that fundamental assumption. And then from there, you know, we have very robust, reliable CAD electronics. And I think we all know how robust CAD electronics are. And those CAD electronics make some onboard automation features. We talked about auto drill, auto level, auto mast, that come with the drill ex factory. You can order that with the drill. And what autonomy does, autonomy just layers into what we have on the drill, you know, from, hey, it's got to work, it's got to drill every day, it's got to be serviceable, and then it's got to be easily interfaced with the autonomous.
So where does that terrain come in? Where does terrain come in then? So you've got technology on the machine, but where does terrain come in?
Right, so the basic technology which is integrated with the machine allows the operator to perform his tasks such as auto leveling and auto drill in a consistent manner. So this removes the variability from one operator to another. From a business perspective, it addresses the shortage of skilled labor today in the drilling space. At the same time, from a mining perspective, it provides more consistency. So this is at the base level of the machine. Terrain adds the dimension of providing the operator an accurate position of his bit projection on the ground and where he has to move the drill to locate it over the next hole. And all this based on high precision GPS technology. And like I mentioned before, it monitors the asset utilization, who's operating the machine, what the consumables are being run by the machine today, what was the productivity levels of that operator. In addition, it also has the ability to detect strata layers. And these strata layers represent the strength of the rock that is being drilled, which can be used for explosive analysis and explosive loading, actually. All this to improve fragmentation with the business objective of reducing the downstream cost of loading and hauling and crushing. So there are lots of benefits using terrain, yielding improved fragmentation and better asset monitoring. At the same time, I should mention that there is an office utility that allows someone in the office to monitor what's happening on the machine. So the person in the office now can see his entire fleet, what's its status, is it operating, which one is down, which one is not, and then he can dispatch whatever services the machine requires.
And that's where MineStar comes in, because not only with drills, but your loading tools, your dozers, with Detect and Command and the whole suite that we have.
That's correct. So MineStar is the umbrella that covers all the entire suite of machines that a customer can have at his site. Now the autonomy layer adds up on terrain. So it leverages the technology that terrain provides today. And this is why this technology is provided to our customers in building blocks. The first building block being the automated functions, all this due to the controls and electronics on the machine. The second layer would be the terrain. The third layer would be the semi-autonomous system that we talk about, and that is the ability to launch the machine, to set up the machine, to execute a whole sequence of drilling holes on its own autonomously. There is one more step actually that I'd like to mention, which is a remote operated station, which can be at a distance away from the mine site, all connected via wireless technologies. So someone in the office can monitor the machines out there, can also remotely control the machines, and can actually set them up to start other missions. And finally, this person's job now not only allows him to remotely control the machine, he can also be a dispatcher for drills, like I mentioned before, sending the appropriate tradespeople to attend to the needs of the equipment.
And running more than one drill.
And running more than one drill. So effectively, not only we're optimizing the labor efficiencies here because we have a few people running multiple machines, but we're also increasing the machine utilization because when an operator is away at a lunch break or a shift change or other potential delays that he has to be attending to, the machine can execute the autonomous operation on its own. Thus, the utilization of the machine goes up, the equipment, the operating efficiency goes up, and your asset is utilized as much as you can get it to produce.
Great. Hey, we've got a question that's come in here. It's can you talk about multi-pass and rod change related to autonomy? Maybe you guys
I can take that, Tony, and then Claude, you can help me. At first, we're going to come out with single pass drilling when it's married up with autonomy. And then later we'll come in with a multi-pass, an auto multi-pass feature. You can multi-pass if it's manual. I want to make sure that's clear. If you're manual drilling, you can multi-pass. But when it comes to automatically, changing out rods and adding rods and doing that automatically, we call that auto multi-pass. That will be ready later after first production.
Okay.
And we understand the importance of that. We understand the customer pull for that, and we are working on that.
Yeah, Kent, you were going to make a comment there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what we just talked through. So let's just put some quick numbers to where technology can take us. So, I think we talked earlier that probably 8 years ago we had some very talented people running drills, and I think with the downturn we probably lost some of that talent. We really don't have it there today. So now we're starting to bring people back in and having to go through the retraining or maybe training from the ground up with operators. So what we have from the factory, X Factory, is definitely going to help these guys be more efficient. But now when we take them to the next step with the technology and put it on there, even going to full autonomous, think about the hours that you can pick up. So you hit on lunch, and I've been to lunch with Tony, and we've never done it in 30 minutes.
It takes me that long to order.
So if we do that twice a day, we could easily, just over lunches, we could easily lose an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and then you have 2 shift changes. So let's say we put the big fuel tank on it, we fuel the thing in the morning, we go fully autonomous, we may not have to do anything with that drill throughout the rest of that day. Okay. So we may have just picked up 2.5, 3 hours just with the addition of technology onto this system, which when you look at achieving anything better than 80% utilization out of a machine, that's world class.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, we got another question that's come in. So you're interested in autonomy, right, for drills. Where do you start? This isn't just come and I want one and it shows up on a truck, right?
Right.
When you have the autonomous discussion, it's a much deeper engagement and collaboration, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's a key question, actually. I'm glad you raised it. Technology is just one piece of the answer. And technology can work, but the other piece of the answer is the processes, the people engagement, championing process change, implementing process management and people change management, and championing all this diligently and with big focus on the success and educating people at the mine site to execute on this new process. So walking in with an autonomy set just out of the box, putting it on a machine, is not necessarily a good recipe for success. It takes several steps of promoting the technology internally, setting up the right processes to make it effective, training the people to be ready for it, and then start executing on it. And it gets harder when mine sites have been around for some time and processes have already been ingrained for a long time. Coming in with something as advanced as autonomy on a machine and imposing certain change in discipline and methodology takes a lot of tact, takes a lot of championing, takes a lot of patience, and certainly a lot of buy-in from the mine operators as well. So it takes a lot of tact. That's why we recommend that the process should be introduced slowly, starting with the basic technologies in building blocks, getting to build sufficient maturity level at the mine site, putting the processes around those building blocks, and then take it one step further as far as the operation starts to getting used to all these technologies putting it.
Yeah, it's kind of a solution where, you know, instead of getting a menu and you just order tomato soup, you actually come out and you talk and you go in the kitchen and you make the soup that's best for that. That's that enhanced collaboration, not only in command for drilling, but when you look at autonomous trucks and autonomous dozers where everything's heading, it's much more than a go online and buy one. You've got to build all these blocks in to make it work.
Correct. And another point I'd like to mention is that not every mine site is going to use the technology in the same way.
Right.
So it's important to size the business objective that we need to reach, and then try to adjust the solution to meet the needs and to follow a successful recipe that will work at this particular customer site.
Yeah, absolutely. We got another question that's come in here. Recently there was a story going around about some success we had in Australia with some drills. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, there was Tony. There was a article published I think a couple of years ago off of our 6420Bs, which were introduced into to Eastern Australia into I'm going to not use the customer, right. But it was two 6420Bs, and those drills were in a coal mine and just operating 2 shifts and I think 7 days a week, and continuously did that, and purportedly broke records for drill hours per year. And that's a testimony to the folks in Australia and the dealer and the customer following maintenance practices. And you can't get that type of utilization if you don't take care of the machine. But in this case, the machine was able to respond and break some productivity hours. That same performance level, let's call it that heritage, will be built into the new 6250.
Yeah, you can see that. And once again, you can check out that 6250 by clicking on the link in the resources site. Well, we're right up on our time here. We've still got a couple of questions, but I think we'll handle those at the end. Just kind of final comments that you guys would have as we wrap up.
I just want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy day to attend this with us, and Tony for you inviting us. It's always our pleasure to talk about drills. And we talked about the journey in the 6250, but we're not stopping on the 6250. Right. We're going to upgrade our entire product line. We're working on the 6310, which is the big brother of the 6250. The 6310 will replace the 6420B and C that we talked about. So the machine at Mine Expo eventually will be replaced by the big brother of the 6250 called the 6310.
And the 310 means 63
diameter, max hole diameter in millimeters and not inches. We're working very hard. We know our job is serious and the customers are waiting. But they're going to really be happy when we launch these products.
Yeah, these guys do a great job in Denison, Texas. It's actually a really good factory to visit. It's just outside of Dallas, so laying there, DFW, and short little drive, and it's a great place. So if you are interested in a deal, get with your cat dealer, and it's a great place to go. So, Kent, final comments from you?
Yeah. So thanks, Tony. I think it's exciting today, knowing that we can really help the customers from the front end of this, from the drilling all the way through. I think by going out and looking for opportunities to help the customers, really have a good look at the blast. You know what you have for loading tools. Is it matched up right? Are we blasting the material correctly so that we're maintaining that 4 or 5 pass match? And just be thinking, if I miss it in fragmentation and it's costing me 2 more passes, that could easily be another minute. You do that on every truck, and at the end of the week or at the end of your shift, you've walked away from some pretty easy money. Then look what happens after we get it to the dump. We take it up to the crusher. If we can't get it into the crusher, it doesn't go through the grizzly, We're going to have to put it over in a rehandle pile. We're going to have to bring in an excavator with a hammer. We're going to have to break it up again, probably put another loader up there, put a truck up there to load it back out and take it back to the crusher. If we can dump it into the crusher, but it doesn't make it through the crusher and the crusher's sitting there chewing on it for quite a while, that's impacting getting the throughput through that crusher. So again, it points all right back to that drilling and blasting, and it's 40% of it, so we really want to make sure we get it done up front.
Yeah, Kent, thanks for that. Claude, we had one final question we'll take here. It's really to you. Somebody wants to see command for drilling, the autonomous drilling. How are we handling that right now?
Well, we do have a machine today at our test track at the factory in Denison, so we would welcome people interested in watching a demo. We will be happy to organize this and showcase the technology. We would also invite our guests to operate the machine by setting it up autonomously and let it go and give us feedback as far as the ease of use. We have done this before. We enjoyed to see the smiling faces on our guests, and we would love to repeat this again and again.
Great. Well, thanks. Thanks for coming down and visiting us here, and thanks for you out there joining us. Just a couple of parting reminders. You can reach out to our experts in the box up to the left. So if you want to have any questions we didn't get to, or you just want to send a note so you have the connection, be sure to do that now. Go to the resources section. Two big takeaways there are: one, make sure you're signing up so you get future communications. Two, you'll see our webinar site, Cat Mining Webinars. That's really good to go to. We'll have this recording will be out there. Our last one was kind of the top 3 areas to look at in optimizing your mine site. Kent was there for that one. That's really good. You can go out and watch that. And then there's a whole series that were done in the technology last year that are really good. So that's a good site for you personally, or be sure you share that with your peers. We will be announcing our webinar for April. On April 25th, we'll be talking trucks. So I'll have 2 or 3 truck experts with me, and we're going to talk ultra class, really that 793, 250 ton up class. So we look forward to that. You can go to that Cat Mining webinar site right now. We have registration that we'll offer 2 options for that. So you can go ahead and register for that now. As I said, you'll get a recording of this webinar in your email box very shortly. So you may have thought about Caterpillar for loading and hauling and dozing and grading. Don't forget about drilling, because we've got some good things to offer there. Yeah. We thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Caterpillar Mining Webinar Series.